Hi everyone, it's nice to be here, and like today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about kind of review content. So we'll give you a bit of a kind of background about how we work and like our background, and then we'll talk about some examples and kind of best practice as well. So to kind of kick things off, these are just some of the kind of brands that we work with. We're actually part of a company called AppHub. We were taken over around about kind of October last year. We were set up in Leicester, so our developers and our support in the UK is all based in Leicester. So, and then we've got offices in the UK, US, Germany, and Australia. And we've actually got more customers than this now. I think we're kind of close to kind of 10,000 now, 10,000 customers. And we're platform agnostic, so we work across all different types of platforms. So if it's BigCommerce, Shopify, Magento, whatever it might be. And then merchants, these are some of our merchants as well, and also one of the things we're most proud of really is around kind of G2. So we've got really good, we're actually kind of leaders within G2, and that's reviews from real customers that use our platform. As I said, we're platform agnostic, but then we also have lots of kind of integrations, so we integrate across numerous, there's even more than this, but this just kind of shows some examples, and then we've also got an API, so if you've got a piece of tech that we're not connected to, you can connect that in. And one of the reasons that this is really important, that like with reviews, it's not just kind of text and stars, it's content. And it's content and data. So it's images and text and video and all those things that you can utilize, and you can use that data and kind of push it to where you need it. So it's not just just looking at those kind of like text within the bottom of the page. It's making the content actually really work for you. So these are some of the reasons why we think reviews are really important. And when we talk to customers, these are the kind of things that they kind of really talk about. So kind of having a lack of insight, no customer voice, high ad spend, or they're working with a reviews platform at the moment and it's a high cost solution and there's no flexibility within that. So one of the things that we certainly see with kind of lack of insight is they're not utilizing the data from it. They're not really kind of looking at it in the right way. They're just kind of not picking out kind of sentiment within the text. They're not using kind of feedback or surveys, and they're not using attributes. And attributes we'll go into in more detail later on, but it's kind of making that work, because we always recommend that you send a verified review. So at the point of purchase, then send a review. But there's also ways of kind of using surveys within sites where you can actually ask those questions that you want answered. So, making sure that you're talking to not just the people that are purchasing from you, but also those other people that are just kind of looking at your site and getting an understanding of what's of interest to them. Trust signals, that's about using the content that you're actually getting from customers in the right way, displaying it, and it's authentic and it's engaging. So display it across your website, but you own the content. Certainly with our platform, you own all that content, so you can push it into adverts, you can push it to where you want it to go. So at the point of purchase, maybe use like a nugget or a little piece of text to kind of specify this is what people thought of this particular product, or pushing it into abandoned cart emails. Use the information, use the data, and push it and make sure it's working for you. We're Google certified as well, so that all helps with Google seller ratings and SEO performance. And then subscription flexibility. With all types of tech, you want to be flexible. You want to be able to kind of test, and you want to be able to kind of upscale and downscale as you need, or as you're required. And that's something you can certainly do with our platform. There's no kind of long-term contracts. You can just kind of like test and understand what's going to work for you. So again, with this type of solution and with lots of different types of solution, it's all very well bringing in the technology, but what is the actual strategy behind it? How is it going to actually work for you? And these are kind of some of the areas that we really want you to kind of like think about, really, because there's no point bringing in a piece of technology if you haven't really kind of set out exactly what it's going to do for you and how you're going to link and use that data. So have you excited the customer? Are they really engaged with it? Did it meet their expectations? Those are all kind of key areas that you kind of want to think about.
And I think it's really important, this whole strategy piece, about how you really start to think how you're going to use the customer and drive the customer beyond that purchase point. So, understanding, did we meet their product expectations? Would they recommend them to their friends and family? And then, the really important piece of what content did you actually get and gain from them, and what sort of quality is that content? So, we can all collect a star rating and a piece of text, but it's really important to really start to drive that sort of video and image content as well, to really improve the sort of authenticity and trust signals on the website.
Exactly. And there's a nice little kind of stat there that we did a report, I think it was kind of March or February this year. Sorry, Rich, I'm looking at him, he did the report. And that's kind of 41% of e-commerce stores' revenue came from only kind of 8% of those customers. And those are the customers that are really engaged with you as a brand, and that are really kind of going to keep spending money with you because they like the brand, they're engaged by it, they feel as though they've got a voice within that brand. So it's looking at that and thinking, well, how can I build that? How can I help amplify that group and make them feel part of the brand and engaged with it? So to do all this is really hard if you don't have an automated process. And so within our own product, we have flows, but we're also integrated with various degrees of kind of ESPs where you can actually kind of send out kind of the communications from. And it's just a way of kind of keeping all that data together. So utilizing those communication flows, linking that complementary text, so making sure that you're using those integrations well, and that it's all linked up and you're syncing that data. Because with ESPs, as I kind of mentioned, if you send through that, it's all synced, and then you can build off that, and abandoned basket, that type of campaigns. But then also with help desks, kind of a 1-star review is kind of 5 times more likely to be looked at than a 5-star review. So that's where the kind of help desk integration really helps, because if you've got that help desk integration, something like a kind of 3-star review, you can push to that help desk, and you can make sure that those people are being contacted. And that really helps, because you don't want to hide 1-star reviews. You want to kind of embrace them and kind of show off, the fact that you've responded to it, because people are going to search for them. If you've just got purely 5-star reviews, it doesn't feel right. It feels quite false. And then kind of set time delays, and that helps to kind of preempt a lot of issues. So if you set time delays, what often happens is, one of the most frustrating things as a customer is if you get a review request when you haven't received the product, or you've just got it and you haven't had a chance to kind of really kind of look at it. So make sure that you're not hurting yourself. If something takes 5 days to be delivered, make sure that you're sending kind of 6 to 7 days later.
So this is more about sort of the types of feedback and the types of content you can collect within a review. So I always talk about sort of UGC to our sort of customers, and I think it's really important to understand and define what UGC is from a review perspective. And it's not just a star rating and a comment anymore. It's also attribute data and sort of that sort of first-party, zero-party data that enables you to collect more information around your customer, more information about what your customers' thoughts are around your brand, and then also sort of more information and more types of content around video and image-based content. And so this enables you to sort of create a much better picture of how customers are using your product, what customers think of your product, the types of customers that are really sort of helping your brand grow, essentially. And I think, it's really, really important, especially now, that you really sort of lean on collecting that data, whether it be an attribute or whether it be a piece of UGC, to really help grow and elevate your customer experience for new customers joining the website.
I think it just makes it a lot easier for, when you come to a website, for you to kind of get that instant understanding about what the kind of fit is and how it kind of works for you. And so, as like Matt said, it's just kind of like helping both parties really get a real understanding.
It's about sort of, here you can see a really good example with sort of like comfort and performance and fit. It's improving the customer journey by having that content on the website, which is obviously helping you drive the customer further down the funnel, create that sort of piece of trust, or really just like push them into that add to cart or cart to checkout process.
Perfect. And then here's some kind of examples of different ways that people have kind of utilized it. So the attributes here, you can see that they had a 16 plus conversion rate increase just by putting this kind of attribute. So people could instantly see, because they're not going to shop, they're not talking to anyone, so it's just reflecting, this is what other people are saying, and building that kind of trust aspect. And then on the other side, you've got a brand called Naki, and I think this is one of the kind of key things around kind of UGC that I feel quite strongly about, is it's actually showing people really like using the products. So going on holiday with it at a campsite, it's not just someone kind of talking about it from a kind of review point of view, as in it's this, it's that. It's actually showing this is the type of people that have bought from our brand, and this is how the type of lifestyle that they lead. This is them enjoying it. Because I always feel, certainly with UGC, you've got to help people understand the type of content that you want. You've got to help give them the kind of guidance around, look, this is and it's running a bit of a campaign to help give them that guidance on that. That's really going to help them, and they send you the type of content that you really want to kind of work, because you can curate all of this content and pick out the best images or the best videos, but it's really about helping them and giving them that guidance.
I think the great thing about UGC as well is essentially like customers buy things from you for one of two reasons, really. It's either an aspirational reason, and UGC really helps them, relate to that and paint that picture, but also, if it's a need and, is that product or is that purchase going to fit their need? And it's really important that, you're showing that and displaying that, whether that's on site or in mobile or in email. It's really giving you the opportunity to push the customer a little bit further down the pipeline again.
Perfect. So this is just talking about really, like, every customer's kind of unique, and they've got different needs and different requirements. So it's kind of like really kind of helping them as they come onto your website, giving them an understanding of the type of products you sell and what people are actually talking about. When they buy from you, what are they enjoying about it? What do they feel connected to that brand? So this is all ways of doing that, and making sure that you're getting those verified reviews and those, not just those stars, but also, if possible, those images and those videos of people that are really kind of engaged, and asking those kind of questions around, attributes that are going to help you as a brand. So what are the kind of questions that you want answered? Are there areas that you kind of feel, okay, why are customers preferring this particular product over this product, or vice versa? Really kind of getting into the nitty-gritty of it with customers and asking the questions. But then also looking at it from the customer's point of view, okay, what are the kind of questions that they really want answered? What are the things that they need help with? So looking at it, and this is all goes back to the kind of strategy side of it, just making sure that you've got a strategy around it, and that you're really kind of thinking about the best ways to support. And like Matt and I and Rich will be here like for today and tomorrow, so we're always happy to kind of like chat about this and discuss and support. And then this goes into the kind of UGC aspect. Kind of UGC has like brilliant metrics. When you're showing UGC, it's really impactful. It's really good for kind of trust, because it feels authentic and it feels engaging for people. So utilizing that in the right way, and there's various different ways that you can do it. And we'll go through some examples, or just we'll take you through this, and then we've got some examples as well after this. But this is kind of utilizing UGC and making it shoppable. So people can go in and actually purchase from the widgets themselves. So it means that you're keeping them within the site. You're not making them have to go to Instagram or Pinterest or wherever it might be. You're keeping them within the site to kind of purchase, because as soon as they go off site, you might never see them again. So it's important and you can create kind of incredibly engaging content like this. This is a kind of collage, but we've got various different kind of formats that can be used. And it's just kind of like working out what fits and what works with the particular products and brands.
This is one of our customers, and obviously they've got some really strong sort of trust signals. Firstly, top banner. at the top of their page that sort of stops that homepage bounce, lets the customer know that they're a sort of trusted business. And then as they move further down the page, they've got more sort of review content, whether that's stars on sort of the different products, or they've got a sort of rolling carousel just down here. But it sort of harks back to what Proof 3 we're talking about for those that you're in that talk. Essentially, once the customer is on that journey, on that shopping journey, they've come off your ads, or they've come out of an email, they've landed onto the site, you're delivering the correct sort of trust signals and the correct authenticity to really, help the customer, feel reassured that they're in the right place. And I think that's one of the most important things that, sort of really good quality review content does.
Do you want me to go to the next one?
Yeah, so the next one is a new client of ours. And essentially this is the product page, and everybody knows now that the product page has to do so much work. So they've got sort of the star rating at the top, and then this sort of feature we've got there, which is called Nuggets, which is a lot closer to that sort of add to cart button. It's bringing that sentiment a lot closer to the impactful part of the page. Then moving on to the piece that Giles just spoke about, which was that sort of UGC gallery, and making that shoppable. And then the much sort of thing that we all know and see on a lot of product pages is the product review widget. And this is where sort of the customer can really dive into where they see all their different attributes and what the customers are talking about, their products, the different types of UGC that they've got at the top. But it just gives a much wider sort of opinion of the product that customers can refer back to. But once again, it's delivering the right message at the right time in the customer journey and helping you progress the customer through the funnel and into the cart.
Perfect. And so, if we look at kind of like takeaways, and we have time for some kind of questions after this, but it's really kind of getting the most out of it. So it's, as we spoke about, it's content, so utilizing that content, but it's also the data that you can use. So making sure that you've got those kind of integrations set up and that you're passing through that data in the correct way. And then so it's triggering that adaptive email sequence, so making sure that that's there. Look to understand the customer as much as possible. Look to kind of gain as much information. And we spoke about, utilizing the reviews, but also surveys and any other kind of feedback that you can kind of get from them. And then strengthen those campaigns with UGC. So user-generated content, it's incredibly impactful and it works. So make sure that you're kind of working with those customers to kind of surface that really engaging content. Is there any kind of questions at all?
Covered it all.
Thank you. How do you moderate the user-generated content, the UGC? So if they're uploading a photo, if it's not suitable, for example, how?
It would come in sort of automatically moderated, essentially. So, that photo doesn't get published straight away. And it's kind of reliant upon then you sort of publishing it if you wanted to use it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Matt and Giles. A really interesting
Thanks
session.
very much.
Thank you.